Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, live from Cam's Pizzeria in Camillus, 112 Castle Road. For those watching and listening in, for everybody here, happy that you're here. If you want to come over and get a T-shirt signed by Prince-Tyson Gulley, somebody who is well-respected in Syracuse. You did so many different things. I think the best game that anybody can say, maybe the best game for you because it was a rival, was that Pinstripe Bowl game, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 touchdown that you caught. I mean, you single-handedly made the separation between Jerome Smith and West Virginia to Syracuse. You let them know what it was like to play in cold weather against a good defense after being in the Big 12 and not playing any defense. So let's go to that game. What do you remember about that Pinstripe Bowl more than anything else that really meant something to you?
It's funny that you say that because I was actually just talking to my brother about that game. That whole week, 2 weeks before that game, just preparing, I honestly stepped out of my comfort zone and did a lot of stuff that I really didn't do during the season. I watched film way more in depth and just tried to learn everything about West Virginia. And when it was time to play, I was mentally prepared. And when I stepped on the field against them, it was just let's play ball. And which made it even better was the weather. And we knew that we were going to run the ball all game. So me and Jerome were just prepared to do it. So
when you go back into those days with you and Jerome Smith, you and I were talking about it a little bit off the air, but what was it like to have Jerome in the backfield with you? When you remember those moments and those times, it almost seemed like it ended too soon. When this year, obviously, he went forward last year, went into the NFL, and then you were left without him. But it seemed like you were growing into something special. Do you feel like fans got to see everything that was Prince and Jerome, or do you think they barely got to scratch the surface on that?
Just like you said, we barely scratched the surface with it. I mean, me and Jerome, like you said, we complemented each other very well, and it was more since we came in together. We was competing with each other. So every time that Jerome used to turn up and start doing real well, I just knew I had to go out there and, we're going to do this together. This ain't going to just be about you. It's going to be both of us. And that's how we always thought when it came to the running backs. And Coach Wheatley, he treated us just like that too. So
in the Pinstripe Bowl, obviously you're there, Jerome's there. You had the big day, and that's how it was. It would be you, some days him, some days it was split a little bit. Did he have anything to say to you? I mean, I know you guys are like brothers, so was there any kind of comedy, like something fun back and forth? When you had the big day, did he come up to you in the locker room and say, like you stole my thunder a little bit? I mean, was there anything about that in that moment?
No, he's not like that. Actually, before the game, I told him, I was like, man, look, this is going to be my day. And he was like, well, let's do it. And at the end of the game, when I had already scored my second touchdown, he stepped to Coach Wheatley. He told him, he was like, yo, let him play because he's the one. So, I mean, that's how Jerome was. If it was my day, it was my day. If it was his, it was his. That's how we looked at it with each other. So that's pretty much what it was.
What was it about him and you that you were able to do that? Because, any running back in the backfield, you want the carry. You want 20 carries a game, 25 carries a game. I mean, you want that opportunity to have Jerome on the team and split the time with him and grow in that relationship with him on and off the field. What made it okay for you guys to say, you know what, I'm cool if today is your day and if tomorrow is my day? What kind of made that? Was it just your personalities that made it easy?
I think it's our personalities and then just us knowing each other, the process that it took for us to get to where we was. Because honestly, me and him coming in together, we always thought that we should have been playing as soon as we touched down here, and granted, that wasn't the truth. We weren't ready yet, and when we got the time to do it, we just knew it's either you or it's me who gonna come out to play today, and that's how we always talked about it with each other, man. Who gonna come to work today? Who gonna be top dog today? So.
How did he make you a better player? I know that you talked a little bit about how if he was doing well, then you knew you had to raise the level. But what did he do, either by talking to you or by showing you something? How did he make you a better running back overall?
Well, I'm going to say Jerome, what he did very well is he's a scholar of the game. That is his best asset for playing football, and that's why I think he will stay and have a long career in the NFL because he's very smart. And he got that from Antoine Bailey. So that was kind of the stuff that he took from Antoine Bailey, and that's how he raised the bar for me. He taught me how to break down film and watch film and understand exactly what we're doing. And when we got out there, that's what I'm saying, I was able to really go in depth for the West Virginia game because he taught me how to really look at film and watch it for what it's worth, and it helped me out on the field.
When you look back on all the time that you got to have, I mean, you guys, like you said, you thought you should play when you touched down together. How difficult was it for you to have patience? Because every running back's kind of had their moment to wait and then had their moment to play. This season, it's supposed to be Devontae, it's supposed to be George, but there's 3 guys coming in. Herb's going to be an H-back. It seems like no matter what, 4 or 5 guys get touches out there. So how hard was it for you to be patient when you came in and it wasn't 4 or 5 guys, it was more 1 or 2 at that time?
That was how we were taught. Coach Wheatley, he instilled that in us. He was like, you have to wait because, like I said, when we first came in here, we thought that we should have played right away. But when we did start playing as junior year, we knew that we weren't ready to play our freshman and sophomore year because it didn't tell way more than what we thought it was. So between me and him, we just knew that that's how it's going to be. We need to be patient and wait our turn. So
now when you look back on it, we're going to talk about a lot of things today live from Cam's Pizzeria, Camillus, 112 Castle Road for those watching, and for everybody here, we appreciate it. When you look at that first moment of your decision to come here, and now that you're done, now that it's all over, would you do it again? Would you come back to this city and play on this team? And we'll get into deeper that the coaches changed and all that happened, but when you look back now, would you do it again?
I will be right here at Syracuse. I've had a great experience here, great time, and learned a lot here, and I will definitely come back to Syracuse to play ball.
That coming from Prince-Tyson Gulley. Plenty more to talk about coming up here, especially how quickly these dreads got back on his head. It seems like you grew them very fast, but we know that it's a little bit different. Maybe you left some on the field during practice. So they say to leave it all on the field, and you did. So
some of them.
Prince-Tyson Gulley, Dan Tortora here with you from Cam's Pizzeria in Camillus. We'll be back in just a few minutes to talk so much more from this gentleman who is looking for that dream in the NFL that I believe he is well deserving of and will get an opportunity to have. We'll be back.